There are illegal immigrants that are already here in the state of Indiana. And so what you have, Indiana, is you have a very intense situation that's taken place because of a lack of leadership, and even, you could say, a president that was promoting illegal immigration. We do need to have a stop of illegal immigration at the border. Why any governors would be participating in an administrative solution from a logistical standpoint without actually stopping what's taking place there seems like it wouldn't make any kind of sense. But I would also say that I think the Conservative Party needs to support everyone that's waited lawfully to come in and do a fast track to citizenship for all of the immigrants that have waited lawfully. We need to be a Conservative Party that is shining the light on that kind of immigration. And then we also need to address the many that are here right now. Taking all of those people and putting them back at the border, to me, seems like a logistical nightmare. I think that we need to have some kind of pause, some kind of temporary situation where those people are not citizens but are able to get some kind of a certificate so that they can work here in the state of Indiana and pay taxes.
All right. This follow-up question of sorts, and we'll probably just want to do this with a show of hands initially. The Heritage Foundation, conservative think tank, this month proposed that states should charge tuition, essentially, of the undocumented children or the parents, certainly the children of undocumented immigrants, children who were not born here, essentially public school tuition for grades K through 12. Do you think that makes sense, the Heritage Foundation's proposal they argue that this is a burden in some states more than others in terms of providing this kind of education? Where do you all stand? If you agree with the Heritage Foundation that schools should, in fact, charge tuition of undocumented workers at kindergarten through 12, we've had much more discussion, certainly as a nation, about higher education. But what about, all right.
So, John, if I can...
If you would give us more time to answer the questions, we will. I mean, you're really kind of pigeonholed us a little bit, and these are really tough situations.
Listen, Americans are tired of illegal immigrants coming across our border. Hoosiers are tired of immigrants coming across the border. 7 million in the last count. And so we need to enforce our laws. We need to fix our border. Our senator needs to do his job, which he's not doing. So I don't, like she said, I don't think I haven't read the Heritage.
All right, fair enough. Mr. Hill.
I don't know what the question was, but I think what you're getting at is, no, I'm serious. I think what you're getting at is do we want to have, do we think that we want to charge illegals to be educated? And the answer is no. I don't want to have a system where illegals are able to buy their way into our citizenship, into our freedoms, into our rights. If you are here illegally, there's no price you can pay to gain access to what's ours. That's worth protecting.
Anybody else want to weigh in on the question that I apparently wasn't clear about? Should kids be charged tuition if they're undocumented?
Well, again, I was just saying that one of the things that I suggested is that we should have a way for people to pay taxes and not be citizens. You guys, there is a major problem here that our Constitution does not actually address because we have a president that was being irresponsible and even hurting our nation by leaving the borders open. So we really do need to come to the table with strong governors that can come together and with the strength of the states come up with a logistical, administrative solution that will be good for all of the citizens of the state of Indiana and their states as well.
All right. We are almost to essentially closing statements, final question, but I do want to try this arm thrust one more time. And this I think we can get this one. Mask mandates should be banned in public schools in case of another pandemic. If you agree, raise your hands. I just wanted to see if the microphone was working. All right. With that, we have come to the close, essentially, of the final debate. You will each have 2 minutes to address anything that we left on the table tonight or make your final pitch to Hoosier voters. And let's make it simple. Mr. Chambers, go ahead.
Thank you for being here. What a journey. A lot of firsts in the Chambers family. In the last 7 months. I've never done this before. I'm not a politician. I'm certainly not a career politician. What I am is a grateful Hoosier. I started a company from nothing 40 years ago. And I felt the pains of starting a business from nothing. I worried about payroll and putting food on the table and gas in the car. It was a tough journey, but I'm grateful. And because of that, This is a service opportunity for me, not a career change. I believe in the potential of this state. I served for $1 a year for 2 years to grow our economy, to bring a business-like approach, to have optimism and urgency, to build a great team, to raise wages, to do things that hadn't been done, to go win. You know, and we weren't winning in a way that was leaving people behind. Wages matter. Being below U.S. average wage matters. And so we have to go play to win, because then when you have a growing economy, you can fix education, and government can actually shrink because unemployment goes down, Medicaid use goes down. So listen, with faith and courage, my wife and I decided to get into this race 7 months ago. We believe it's time for a CEO, someone to run it like a business. I was in Bedford over the weekend, Saturday night, and a man came up to me and said, "I just voted for you." And it gave me a shot down my spine. I was so humbled by that decision, because I'm working hard to earn votes. I'm rolling out policy. I'm doing the work, going around meeting Hoosiers, listening, because that's what CEOs do. You have our senior senator who doesn't show up. He doesn't listen. He mails it in. He expects people to vote for them. I don't. I'm honored by a vote. And that's what I've been working to do, is earn your vote. And then I'll work hard to deliver on that effort and make Indiana better than it has ever been. So thank you. I would appreciate your support on May 7th.
Mr. Hill, your closing thoughts.
I'm running for governor because Hoosiers are hungry for proven conservative leadership. And the most important word that I've said there is proven leadership. How do you know? How do you know what someone's going to do going forward? It's based on their history and record of what they've done in the past. We're facing assaults on absolute truth on a regular basis, the manipulation of justice, the weaponization of race designed to keep you silent, and the sexualization of our children is destroying the America that we know and love. Don't let politicians give you a laundry list of conservative talking points and say that's enough. Prove that you can do the job. I believe in a culture of life. That's why when 2,411 Indiana aborted babies were found discovered in that Illinois garage, I didn't let it go. As your Attorney General, I went and brought them back to establish their humanity in death that was denied them in life, because I believe in a culture of life. I believe in liberty, freedom. That's why when the Holcomb Crouch administration announced its mask mandate in 2020, as your Attorney General, I put a stop to it. It's about freedom. It's about liberty. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe in truth. That's why when the Bureau of Motor Vehicles created a third gender, I put a stop to it as Attorney General. Why? Because the truth is there are only 2 genders, male and female, and that's worth fighting for. We need courage. You need to be able to count on the people that are on this stage, the person on this stage that will get the job done. My name is Curtis Hill. I have a record of getting the job done. I would appreciate your support on May 7th.
Mr. Doden.
I think what's important for a leader is to have a bold vision for the people of Indiana and the ability to implement that vision. And we have more plans in writing than everyone on this stage combined. So what I'd encourage you to do is go to our website and interface with every one of our plans, help us improve them. But let me go through them quickly. We have a plan to restore small towns for the first time ever in history. We've never had a plan for the 2.5 million people that live in small town Indiana. And it's at the core of our very culture in Indiana, and is at the core of business growth and everything that we should be about in this state. We have a plan for each of our regions to be one of the top in the country. You know, we took Fort Wayne from not ranked in 2015, built a team, and today it's the 32nd best place to live in the United States, according to U.S. News and World Report. We did that in under 7 years. We can do that all over the state. We have a plan for zero-cost adoption to get our 13,000 kids in foster care and loving homes. We have a plan to protect our seniors, making sure that they do not lose their homes by freezing property taxes. You know, we have a plan to make sure that we grow every single part of our economy in all 92 counties. These are the kinds of things that you should be looking for. But as I close tonight, I'm going to ask you for some things. First of all, I'm going to make one observation, and I've said this across the state. Fear and faith are incompatible. And there's a lot of fear right now in politics, a lot of fear. And fear and faith are incompatible. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of what? Power, love, and a sound mind. So what I'm going to ask of you is to roll up your sleeves and put your faith to work. It's going to take a team effort from everyone in this room. Not one person up here is gifted enough to do it alone. I'm going to ask you to have a bold vision for your community and expect us to be a great partner to you. And then lastly, I'm going to ask you to pray for us. Pray for safety as we travel. Pray for wisdom, most importantly, and pray for a servant's heart. Thank you.
Ms. Crouch.
I'm running for governor because I care deeply about Indiana, and I care deeply about you. And I'm the only candidate on the stage that has the experience to be able to deliver results. We want to start by eliminating the state income tax. We're going to axe the tax. We can put money into your pockets. Today it costs you $11,400 more than it did 3 years ago just to meet basic needs. Now my opponents, and I'm the only one saying we're going to eliminate a tax, my opponents say it's a gimmick, it can't happen. But what they're really saying is government needs more of your money and you need less of it. We can do it. As former vice chair of the House Ways and Means Committee, as former auditor of state, we can do it. If we limit government growth, if we end wasteful government spending, and we find efficiencies in government, we can give you money, we can allow small business to grow, and we can attract people to Indiana. But I'm also the only candidate on this stage that has said that helping those that struggle with mental illness and addiction will be a top priority. Since COVID's 20% increase in anxiety and depression, suicide's second leading cause of death among young people. And that is why, as governor, we will never have mass mandates or lockdowns because what it has done to all of us, but particularly our children. I'm running for governor because I want to make sure that Indiana does not become a California, New York, a Michigan, or an Illinois. I'm running to protect our conservative values. As governor, I'll make sure that parents control what's being taught to our children. We'll stand shoulder to shoulder with police and enforce our crime laws to the fullest. We'll axe the tax. We'll live within our means. We're not going to saddle our children and grandchildren with a mountain of debt. You see, the Indiana you and I will build will never cast aside our most vulnerable Hoosiers, the unborn, the elderly, the disabled, those struggling with mental illness and addiction, because they are our families, our friends, and our neighbors. We will never compromise in protecting faith, family, and freedom. I'm Suzanne Crouch. I'm running for governor. I ask for your vote on May 7th so we can build a better Indiana together. Thank you.
And Ms. Rittenauer.
Well, Indiana, I would just ask you if you feel like any of that is actually happening right now. We live in a state that says that it's a red state and believes in conservative values, and yet I am trying to figure out where the conservatives are in government. Right now, we are having a big issue in our state because we're discussing matters that you and your communities are also discussing. There's a moral crisis, and there's a very big debate about socialism and capitalism. In our state, what that looks like is it looks like billion-dollar companies investing in this state. We have 100,000 jobs already available. These billion-dollar companies are bringing these high-paying jobs, but I ask you, for what workforce? Because on their watch, these politicians, our education has failed. There are over 100,000 third through eighth graders that are not able to do basic reading and math. That's a failure. 6 years ago, I was asked by the Lord, I was told that I would be the governor of the state of Indiana. I know that sounds wild. I waited for 4 years for that confirmation. I was at Panera. A person came up to me and said that I had a love for more than just my family. It was for the people, and I should follow that love. And then the next week, I heard a man say to me that I needed to let my past go and I needed to walk forward in the calling for my future. And he said I needed to allow the Lord to renew my mind, that I might approve his pure and acceptable will. I want you to know, Indiana, that I've done a lot of walking around this state. And it really broke my heart when I saw a Hoosier in Boone County that said, this is not our Indiana anymore. If you want billions of dollars in backroom business, choose the politicians. If you want someone that loves freedom, that's going to look out for your families and encourage you to grow in this state through the private sector and through the good people that you are, then check out our website at jamieforINGov.com, because that is Indiana goodness.
One thing you all made clear tonight is you don't like my yes or no, raise your hand questions. So I'm going to ask the last one, and I'm going to direct it at myself. I'm asking myself, who appreciated the fact that these candidates were willing to engage in a vigorous discussion of the issues of importance to Hoosiers? I'll raise my hand. I appreciate you all for doing that. And I also, to those who have watched or listened to this evening's debate, I thank you for caring about our state, its governance, and our collective future. Please remember to vote May 7. I'm John Schwannis, and on behalf of the Indiana Debate Commission, I thank you, and I wish you a good night.